Hello there, I am Anaí Clemens, and this is the first official podcast because the other one was a trailer. So, in the other one, I introduced myself. I've been busy for 12 years now shooting as a freelance photographer. And in this podcast, I want to share how the conversation with a potential client usually goes, because this is a very important part of how to get the clients, which is the most asked question from other freelancers to me. And yeah, where do you get your clients? And you come across a lot of people everywhere, in work environments, personal environments, and they're like, what do you do? Okay, I take pictures and keep it simple, because you can explain a lot of things, but first you have only a few seconds to get put in a box, and for your business it's very good to be first put in that professional box as photographer. Afterwards you can talk about your hobbies, your everything, but first as professional photographer, because who knows what leads to what. And it's not that you have an expectation, simply you have to keep it simple in this conversation. So anyway, the conversation usually goes like, okay, what do you do? I take pictures. Oh, what kind of pictures? Or are you a photographer? And I say, yeah, I've been working this for so long. And then they can already decide, okay, how much experience you have, right? All the people are processing this information, trying to decide where you are. So are you a photographer? Yeah, I've been working this for so long. And a very important question that follows is, what kind of pictures do you take? People want to know, is it landscapes? Are you one of those influencers that take it with the phone? Do you take fashion pictures for magazines? Or, oh, I need pictures for my website, can I ask you? Or I have a dog photo shoot because I just got a puppy, or a pregnancy. Like, there's so many kinds of photography, and if you get blocked when they ask what kind of pictures you take because you like to take a lot of things, it's gonna be harder for you to get that client. And I think it depends on which stage of your career are. If you're just starting, of course you are experimenting and finding out what kind of pictures you actually want to take in the future, or what are you best at, or where there's more demand, or you're figuring it out in the first years. But if you are already past 5 years, then you kind of know the things you don't want to do. So what kind of pictures do you take? I say I take pictures for campaigns and websites, because those are the clients that I want. So first I want to be asked for those things, for campaigns or photography for websites. Sphere photography is called in Dutch. And for campaigns, because I love to work in the concepts and shoot at these communication messages that are supported by one image or a few images. But I just love shooting campaigns, and that's what I want to do more. I also do a lot of other things, like later in the conversation I'll say during summer I also work for travel magazines, but that's only during summer. Also because then I have enough work outside, and what I'm trying to promote in other seasons is like winter and spring, where I'm trying to do more local shoots, indoor. And but think in your case, what's the kind that you will actually like to do, and say either if you're really just starting, I'm trying to build a portfolio in event photography, for example. And then when you say I'm trying to build a portfolio, they will say, okay, you're accessible in price, or maybe you are still wanting to trade, what service they offer for a service you offer. But if you're later in your career and you say, okay, I've been working this for 10 years and this is what I do, it sounds like, okay, you are not gonna be the cheapest, but you're a specialist in this area. And the first year is to figure it out what kind of specialty you would like to do after 5 years. After 5 years, you should know at least what you don't want. You need to position yourself. Positioning is a term in communication where you get put within a few seconds in a box, and for work you need that as a freelancer. Get put in the box even if you're a rebel. First, position yourself as photographer, and afterwards you can talk about anything else. Then pick out what kind of photography you do, find a quick answer, and then have room for more questions, but have already answered that directs conversation to somewhere where you will want to get, so they know what they can hire you for. And now let's talk about how to find out what you do want to do or what you don't want to do in kinds of photography. When you're just starting your career, you shoot everything. You think like a camera can shoot everything. Why do I need to choose? And after you have shot everything, like events, dogs, street, nature, portraits, fashion, you have helped a lot of people, startups probably at the beginning, and you have room for mistakes there, which is great. Maybe you do some exchange, you make my website, I shoot your pictures for your LinkedIn, something like that, just to test what you want, what you don't want. Then you realize, okay, I shot this event yesterday, it was a wedding, and I found out this is what I want to do. It makes me so happy to be in familiar environments. Or you find out, I can never do that again. I get very stressed in events, especially weddings, because I cannot direct what's happening. I really need to have some sort of control over the lights, so I'd rather work in the studio. Or I took this travel photography project and it's so much work, and I have a problem with my knee. Well, then you know that's not the right thing, right? Or you simply prefer to do business to business, or you want to offer one-to-one to families or women, or at the studio more than outside. You know, there's all these little things that you need to figure out. Very important, find what makes you uncomfortable and what gets your heart ticking faster of joy. Like, what makes you uncomfortable, it's very important you write it down. It's like, I don't want to do more of those things. So I tell people I don't do family shots. I only do business to business. Like once a mentor said to me, people are still gonna ask, do you do event photography as well? Even if you just say I do campaigns or I do something else, they're still gonna check, do you also do events? Because I have a friend who has one this weekend and is looking. Then you can say yes or no. So don't worry too much about wanting to grab everything. What kind of pictures do you do? Everything, landscapes and dogs, and it's kind of confusing for them. Like, okay, well, I don't know where to position you, so I'm just gonna ignore you. You need to get in one specific box. You eventually, after 10 years, you need to be a specialist in something. By then you have found your style, what you don't want to do, and what you do want to do more, and in which way. What kind of clients are your clients? At the beginning, it's a lot of testing indeed. So, okay, the tip of this podcast is to have answers ready of what do you do and what kind of pictures. And if you're just starting in your career, the most important is to find out what you don't want. Very important. So you say like, no, not just say yes to everything eventually. Like at the beginning it's fine, but after some years it's important that you are able to say no. That's for other photographers that specialize on pets photography. I need to invest all my time in getting the right clients that do the kind of photography I want to do, like travel photography or fashion photography or whatever it is. Find out what you don't want, so you find out what your specialty could be, what you enjoy the most. You will do great, you'll invest your time with more joy, and in the long term it's just better. Once you're a specialist, you can charge more or simply get better clients and generally be happy. So those are the 2 tips of today, and thank you for listening, and good luck with your growth.